You're going into 2019, you might have some things about yourself that are no longer serving you that you want to adjust. You might want to change the way that you live your life to how you lived your life in 2018, or you might just want to improve your life a little bit for the better. And that all starts with changing your regular habits. In this video, I want to talk about how you can make building new habits easier so that you can improve the life that you live. There are two videos that I think are kind of like foundational videos to this video. The first being my big video on building new habits, which was heavily inspired by The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And then I have another video on breaking bad habits, which I think is the most comprehensive video on YouTube about breaking bad habits. So I'll have those linked up here and down below if you want to watch them after this video or before this video, just to give you a more comprehensive understanding of habits in general and how they work. So this video is less about building the foundations for a new habit and more so about how to make new habits easier to do. Starting with making the new habit more appealing or more interesting. If cleaning every day is a drag, put a timer on, chuck on some Beyonce, and make it a competition to clean the house as much as possible within a short period of time. If walking into a gym feels more like walking into your worst nightmare, try rock climbing or dancing or something that is actually interesting to you. If eating chicken and broccoli every day doesn't make you feel like you're living your best life, then find healthy, interesting, and delicious recipes that you can cook that will make you feel like you're living your best life. If journaling every day feels more like a pain in the ass than a productive habit, firstly, reconsider why you're actually pursuing that habit, and secondly, find some journal prompts that will get you inspired, or locate a journaling template that will make it a funner process. There's often a traditional way that's looked at as the right way to approach new habits. So if you need to get fit, you need to go to the gym and do these certain things, and that will get you fit. If you want to eat healthy, chicken and broccoli. If you want to start goal setting, then you need to set smart goals in this certain way. But often there are so many ways to approach habits that are outside of the box that we don't usually think of. To help yourself to actually keep on performing a habit, try to make it as interesting and appealing as possible to your brain. In James Clear's book on Atomic Habits, he talks about associating a habit that you need to do with a habit that you want to do. So if you need to exercise, do that and then follow it up with something that you want to do. Watching Netflix. That way your brain will start to associate exercise with the hit of dopamine that you get when you turn on a Netflix show. Be careful of that because it may turn into a more unproductive approach to habits. If you follow up every exercise session with 4 hours of watching Netflix, that may not be the life that you want to live. Secondly, try habit stacking. So for example, if you've already got the habit of exercise down, then stack another habit on top of that of meditating. So after you exercise, you meditate for 10 minutes. This method was first created by Fogg in his Tiny Habits course. I'll have that link down below. By using habit stacking, you can create a really strong mental link from one behavior to a new behavior. Because one behavior is so strongly ingrained in you, it'll be easier to stack another habit on top of it. So find a habit that you do consistently every day. So brushing your teeth, eating your lunch, having dinner, and then use that momentum that you have from that strongly ingrained habit to stack another habit on top of it. Next up, do a habit with a friend. Now this is something that you need to be a little bit careful about. If you're going to change the way that you live by exercising more or eating clean and you want to do that with a friend, choose someone who can commit. If there's someone that isn't as motivated as you and they keep on opting out of exercise sessions because they can't be bothered or eating poorly, that might then influence your behavior. In saying that, if you do find someone who is just as dedicated and just as motivated as you, it can be life-changing to find someone else to perform a habit with. For me, scheduling an exercise class in with a friend makes it far more likely that I am going to rock up to that exercise class on time and ready to go. When me and my sister sit down and we schedule in exercise sessions every single week, I reliably show up on time. It's very difficult not to when you have someone that is waiting for you. In The Happiness Advantage by Sean Anker, he says that mountains literally appear smaller when you are with someone else opposed to when you are on your own. And I think the same goes for approaching new habits. Eating clean seems a lot easier when you're on that journey with someone else, and going to an exercise class seems a lot less intimidating when you're in that with someone else. Next up, don't choose a habit that you think you should be doing. Choose a habit where you have a rock solid why behind why you are doing it. There are literally so many suggestions on the internet about things that you should be doing to optimize your life. Optimize your sleep, eat healthy, exercise 3 times a week, meditate every day, bullet journal, follow journaling prompts, have a planner, but also use your Google Calendar, drink lots of water, have cold showers, show gratitude regularly, declutter your life, use the Pomodoro technique, minimize your life, live in a tiny house, and make sure that you do deep work every single day. I could literally go on forever, especially because I'm in this world. All of those things are amazing things to do. All of those things could absolutely be beneficial to your life, but you don't need to do every single one of them. I love learning, but if I decided to learn a new fact every day, I wouldn't keep that habit up because there's no strong why behind it. I love reading, but if you told me to read one book a week, I'd feel like, oh, well, I can't really do anything with that book because I'm reading it a week. How am I going to implement the advice that's within it? Just because I said something was good to do, or the YouTuber over there said something was good to do, or you heard this in a podcast, or you read it in a book, does not mean that it's something that you need to adopt in your life. If when you think about this new habit that you're trying to pursue, you don't feel excited, you feel kind of demotivated, and you can't actually see a strong reason to do it, then don't. Always, always, always have a clarified why for why you are doing everything that you're doing, and it will make your life feel a lot more purposeful and a lot more intentional. Pick one habit at a time. We all crave grand gestures and transformational change. That is why there are so many videos on how to reset your life and how to change your life for the new year. But the reality is that sustainable change comes from tiny, small incremental improvements. Picking one habit at a time and making it a very small change to begin with is the most likely way that you're actually going to be able to sustain the new habit that you want to start. I guarantee you that if tomorrow you tried to implement a morning routine with 10 new things, you'd keep that up for maybe a week, and then you would give it up. In comparison, if you decided that every night you would spend 2 minutes meditating, you are far more likely to keep that up in the long run. And eventually you'd build it up to 10 minutes, to 20 minutes, once you'd proven to yourself that it's something that you could continue to stick to doing. The way that I'm currently approaching habit building is every 12 weeks I'm picking one habit to start, one project to finish, and one book to live by. I find it extremely difficult to only pick one habit to do within the 12 weeks, but I know that in the long run, I'll stick to that habit for a far longer period of time, and I'll actually see benefits from choosing just one habit. Find a community or find a few friends where the habit that you want to build is just the norm. That way you can make it your norm. My friend tagged me in this really great video on Facebook a while ago where there were a bunch of people in a waiting room. Most of them were actors except for one new person who would come into the room. Every minute there would be a beep and all of the actors would stand up in their chairs and then sit back down. What they found is that the new person, surrounded by all of the actors, would often just start standing up with everyone else in the room as soon as they heard the beep. They had no idea why they were standing up, why the other people were standing up. Because everyone was doing it, they too would do it. This is something that is deeply ingrained in us. If most of the people in the room are doing a certain thing, it is very likely that you too will do that thing. That doesn't make you a follower, it means that you are a normal human being, created the same way as everyone else. We want to fit into our culture, we want to fit into the people around us. So if you are surrounded by people who go to the gym every day, you're far more likely to go to the gym every day. If you go into work and everyone brings out these super healthy lunches and everyone is pursuing a better life, you are probably going to be someone who eats a really healthy lunch and pursues a better life. Seek out Facebook groups relevant to the habit that you're trying to build and connect with those people. Go onto places like meetup.com or just try to find people in your area that are interested in doing the same things that you're doing. If you're struggling to find people in real life, then you can seek out YouTubers who do the thing that you want to be doing, or Instagrammers who are constantly putting up stories of them at the gym. If every single person you follow on Instagram is someone who goes to the gym and posts gym selfies and talks about the gym like it's a very normal thing to do, then eventually it will influence the way that you live your life, even if it's subconsciously. Adjust your environment to cater to your habits. In his book, The Happiness Advantage, Sean Anker really wanted to get into the habit of daily practice of the guitar. His guitar was in his closet, which only took him about 20 seconds to get out, but he still found himself really resisting the idea of getting his guitar out and doing that daily practice. So he moved the guitar into the middle of his apartment in an open space where he was able to easily pick it up and start playing. He ended up practicing for 21 days without a break. And that was just because he removed some barriers that were in the way of him accessing his guitar to start practicing. Adjust your environment to help you to stick to better habits. If you have your camera and lights set up in your room all ready to go, you're far more likely to sit down and film a YouTube video because there are way less steps involved to filming that video. If your gratitude journal is sitting open on your bedside table every night before you get into bed, it'll feel much easier for you to just pick up your pen, your notebook, and start writing. If you put your yoga mat just next to your couch as opposed to stuffed into the back of your closet, you're more likely to reach for it and do a little bit of at-home exercise. So consider the habits that you want to start in the new year or just in general, and then brainstorm ways that you can alter your environment to cater to those habits. If you liked this video, you might like my video on how to break bad habits if you haven't seen it already. I'm gonna have it linked on the screen and down below. I appreciate you guys so much. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you soon.